Welcome. I'm Kari Akins, a member of the Cheyenne League of Women Voters, and I'm happy to be here today with a candidate for Cheyenne City Council in Ward 1, Travis French. And we're going to spend a few minutes getting to know a little bit about Travis. And so I'd love to, Travis, just have you start off with an introductory statement in under 2 minutes.
Absolutely. So my name is Travis French. I am currently running for City Council in Ward 1. I decided to run just because, during the whole kind of COVID era in 2020, I really felt that the different government bodies had kind of their own agenda and didn't really want to listen to the, vast majority of citizens crying out for different policies, different just kind of common sense things. Um, and so I decided to kind of take that mantle up and try and put my voice and my thought process in there. One thing that really inspired me or inspires me all the time is a quote from Edmund Burke, which is the only thing necessary for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. And so I just kind of take that upon myself. I kind of put that on the average citizen as well. And this is kind of my role in doing something to further prosperity and family values and all those types of things for the city council. So a little bit of my work history. I currently work for Motorola, so I'm very heavily involved in emergency management systems and radio communications. That's what I do for a living, and I travel all over the state of Wyoming. So I'm very fortunate to be able to speak with really the average citizen, police officers, dispatchers, and get a real sense of what kind of the average person is expecting or wanting or concerned about on a daily basis. So prior to that, I've been with the Wyoming Air National Guard. I served there for 6 years, had a great time with it. I decided not to continue in 21 just for some personal reasons. And I welcomed a daughter in 2022, and she is just the absolute light of my life. And that's another thing that really does inspire me to run for city council, is basically to increase the ability for the city of Cheyenne to provide for, in the sense of equal opportunities for for children that are here, for families that are here, for increasing the standard of living, and really just making the entire city a much more prosperous city than it is now, even though it is very good. But that's kind of the gist of me. That's what inspires me to run, and yeah, I'm really hopeful that I can sit on city council and make wise decisions for the entire city.
Thank you. Well, we'll go ahead and get into a couple of questions. The first question is, what do you believe are the greatest challenges and opportunities currently facing Cheyenne, and why?
Absolutely. So this was a question I was actually asked a little while ago as well for other news outlets. And really, the main things that I see the city of Cheyenne struggle with right now are infrastructure problems, whether it be electricity, production, or water availability or water usage. Crime, in terms of kind of petty crime that happens, and then kind of vagrants and homelessness that seems to be kind of creeping in for some areas of Cheyenne, and then really just kind of the overall functionality of downtown Cheyenne. Parking is constantly an issue, pretty much no matter who you are, where you are. It always comes up every year, every session for something. So, and then and then the third option, or the third issue facing Cheyenne, I think would be really kind of national, but really focusing on Cheyenne, is just affordability for pretty much everything. Housing has gone up, grocery prices have gone up, and not that there should be any type of government controls or anything on those, but that is an issue, and there are simple things that the city of Cheyenne, the city council can do to again create a more prosperous city, and alleviate certain burdens that prevent people from being able to take it upon themselves to start businesses and those types of things. So yeah.
Okay. Well, on to question number two. And this question is, how would you prioritize funding for different types of city amenities distributed throughout various neighborhoods? What would be, for instance, your highest priority and your lowest priority?
Well, definitely, considering looking at the budget and the priorities that the city council focused on in fiscal year 2023, there was a large priority in things that weren't necessarily within the purview of the city council, more recreation things. So I firmly believe that the vast majority of the focus of available funds should be on uh, improving and upgrading infrastructure. There's been several times where water mains have been broken, and it's just aging infrastructure. Unfortunately, it's something that if you don't stay on top of it, it can become a problem very quickly. So the priority for my role in city council would be to direct funds to repair, preventative maintenance, upgrading infrastructure projects around the city of Cheyenne. And I would focus on probably the older neighborhoods first, just because obviously that's where the older infrastructure is. And then, of course, moving out from there and making sure that any new, subdivisions or housing projects, the infrastructure that is put in is quality infrastructure and it's built to last a long period of time.
Thank you. So now I'm going to give you a flash feedback term, and this is just an opportunity for you to give just your real quick thoughts in under 30 seconds about this topic. And your flash feedback term is urban planning.
Well, urban planning, again, I think it goes right along with infrastructure, making sure that the whether it's zoning, whether it's single family homes or multi-unit dwellings or anything, that those are put in intelligently and properly, so not to overly mix different types of housing. I think that causes problems in the long term. So that would be my quick answer to that.
Thank you. All right, back into the longer form questions now. Next question is, how can Cheyenne leverage its historical and cultural assets to support existing businesses, recruit new businesses, enhance community pride, and attract tourism?
Well, really, I think it goes down to getting back to our roots. Obviously, Frontier Days is coming up, and that's a huge boom, for the city in terms of bringing in, revenue for tourism and those types of things. I really think that with additional large-scale companies moving in, such as Facebook and the Microsoft being here, and of course a Walmart distribution center, it should really be able. The city of Cheyenne should be able to focus more on kind of the rugged nature of our roots and how we're essentially going into the future, of building up manufacturing, building up things that produce well-paying jobs, and just again kind of with my central tenets of providing a much higher standard of living for the average citizen. Um, for I apologize. What was the second part of the question?
Oh,
Well,
sorry. It's
okay.
how can Cheyenne leverage its historical and cultural assets to support existing businesses, recruit new businesses, enhance community pride, and attract tourism?
Absolutely. So kind of covered the tourism, part of it, but attracting new businesses. Again, kind of focusing on the available skill set that we do have for the citizenry in Cheyenne. I think there should be a focus on providing opportunities for different certifications and things that are, relatively low cost and relatively easy to get into to bolster up the workforce to attract more businesses that are in the tech industry, that are in the manufacturing industry, and that way they have a reason to come here rather than solely focusing on tax rates or something along those lines. Actually, having the skilled workforce to be able to push those companies to just I guess become better.
Okay. And the last question, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being very unsafe and 5 being very safe, how would you assess the current state of public safety in our city? And please explain your answer.
Well, right now I would, pretty much go right in the middle, probably about a 3. As we've seen over the last couple of years, there's been more and more instances of, kind of petty theft and those types of things for vehicle crime, vehicles being stolen, broken into, and damaged in one way or another. But then also, as we've, as was in the news just a little while ago, actually catching an individual who committed, a pretty heinous act about a decade ago for a local coin shop owner. Those types of things have, at least anecdotally, from what I've been able to gather, have been, slightly ticking up. And I really think that, the main focus that the city council should have would be empowering law enforcement with proper ordinance and ordinance renewal or inspection, basically to go over old ordinances, if they no longer kind of fit or if they're not strong enough, be able to reword those and reenact those so that the police officers and the police chief can enforce those properly. One thing that I've kind of been advocating for is basically zero tolerance on panhandling in the city of Cheyenne, just because it's a relatively small city and there's only so many street corners. And unfortunately, driving around, there's many times where there are people that are just, kind of on the corner, harassing drivers, maybe not harassing, but definitely just kind of, bothering them in one way or another. I think it would be very important for Cheyenne to enact an ordinance, if something is not already in place, to basically ensure that there is a zero tolerance panhandling policy. And there's proper signage and programs out there to help those people get the assistance they need to be able to get whatever it is that they're looking for for that moment. But I think overall that would increase safety, and it would basically just put into the community that we're not one to just kind of let anything happen and just kind of allow citizens to kind of do whatever they want in the sense of harassing people and begging for money and those types of things.
Okay. Well, that was the last question. And so now you have the opportunity to give a closing statement. You've got 2 minutes to say whatever it is that you want voters to know about you.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate the opportunity so much to be able to do this interview. One thing that I would really like voters to know about me is that I am just a hardworking dad and a husband to a wonderful wife and a father to a wonderful daughter. Really, my central focus is family overall, community, and safety. And I think we've touched on those with a lot of these questions. It was something to where being an outsider coming in, I have particular things I want to focus on, again, to promote family values and to promote, families overall, and just really make the community a much better, a safer place for the people of Cheyenne. I've lived here since 2005 and I've enjoyed pretty much every moment of it. There's those days where it gets to be negative 40 degrees and, you just happen to buy a new house and now you have to, move all the furniture in negative 40 degrees. So that's not fun. But other than that, it's very enjoyable. I love the city, and I really just want to see it prosper more. And I think being able to appeal to voters and being able to earn your vote, that's really important to me. And I would just encourage everyone to go to my Facebook, French for City Council Ward 1. I do post occasional updates there, and in working a normal job, am hoping to get out and meet lots and lots of voters and be able to go door to door and just represent their voices in a common sense, unique way. So thank you very much for all of the time that you've given me to present my opinions. I have lots of other opinions, and one of my favorite things is to let people know my opinions. So I appreciate this, and I'm definitely hoping to have more opportunities.
Well, thank you very much, Travis, for joining me for this candidate interview today. And thank you to everyone who's watched this interview. The primary election is on August 20th. And obviously, we hope that you vote. After all, your vote is your voice.